If I make a bold statement about a product, it's for a damn good reason. Bear that in mind when I say that the Tiger Light is, in my opinion, the best entry-level custom keyboard of the year for 2022. Let's dig into that a bit and explain my position on this one, bearing in mind this is all relative to my personal experience and tastes. Your mileage can and will vary. And a huge thank you to everyone who has supported the channel through the use of our creator code over at mechanicalkeyboards.com. Your support is what made this content and exposure possible. So be sure to check out with creator code The Manic Geek every time you check out at mechanicalkeyboards.com. And of course, the links for everything in this video is down in the description. First, the price itself of $130 at most retailers is a really competitive spot for custom keyboards. So you need to come out swinging if you want to be noticed. Here, you're getting a really nice case, an excellent stock cable, cherry screw-in stabs, and enough foam options to give you basically whatever acoustic profile you could want. You also get a really interesting tool for assembling the case that acts like a sort of torque stick to help you feel when you tighten things down enough. KBD Fans has been including this tool since at least as far back as the KBD 67 Lite, and I'm glad to see its continued use here since it has helped me avoid any unnecessary damage to my cases and builds when I'm putting everything together. The board itself is built really well for having an injection molded polycarbonate case, probably better than a board deserves to be at this price. Aesthetically, it's also capable of being as flashy or low-key as you'd like it to be and has a generally agreeable look to it. You may only get one plate option with polycarbonate, but with the unique gasket mount system, which employs rubber socks at either end of the gasket tabs and a thin flex cut PCB, this board basically ensures you get the most bounce and flex out of your board possible. Switch fitment in the plate is also really nice, so the only reason switches should be removed during cap removal is if the cap is fitting too tightly in the first place. There is no per key lighting on the south-facing sockets, but there is RGB underglow if that's your thing. Given the lack of LEDs, I might have liked to see a few extra layout options for the PCB like stepped caps, split backspace, or a 6.25U bottom row. But that would have also led to a more complex PCB design and might be more confusing to first-time board builders, which for me is part of the target audience for this product. That said, ease of use does continue here with the board being online via compatible. However, online vials seem to have a hard time registering the board was connected, so we may need some updates on vial before we're usable there. The build experience here overall is excellent, with only one gripe that's unfortunately unavoidable here. Because the board uses a 1.2mm thick PCB, most stabilizers will require the use of shims under the PCB where the stab housing fits to the PCB. This isn't the end of the world, but it could create some confusion for first-time builders. This is one of the only places I'd like to see this kit improve in the future and either move back to a 1.6mm PCB or include stabilizers that don't require shims to make overall assembly better. The other place being the included tape mod. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing options like this available, and if you order the board direct from KBD Fans, you can also get a custom graphic made on it for a few bucks. But there aren't any cutouts for the underglow LEDs, which leads to the heat from these LEDs softening the adhesive and causing the tape mod to fall away over time. For a client build I did recently, I cut out the openings for the LEDs to shine through and not heat up the back of the tape mod. Time will tell if this was effective or not, but so far with my personal board, ever since I shut off the underglow, the tape mod has stayed in place. Otherwise, the one-piece pre-cut tape mod is an excellent add, making an otherwise slightly irritating process very straightforward to implement, or remove if you don't like it. So how does the board feel? My personal model is soft, but not too soft, with ample, easily realized flex. Bear in mind, however, the flex of this board can and will be impacted by the different foam options you implement. Things like plate foam, case foam, and the PE foam sheet will dramatically reduce overall flex for this keyboard. That's kind of nice though, because it allows you to tune this to be basically what you want it to be in the first place. As for the sound of the board, we'll give you two demos, one of my personal build and one of the client build we just did. Two of the same board, sounding very different from one another, both with surprisingly different typing experiences, and both nonetheless being excellent and exactly what each user was looking for. That's not something you see every day, especially not at this price point, and especially with so little work having been done on either board outside of what was provided to us in the first place. With a proliferation of excellent factory lube switches and reasonably priced in-stock keycap sets, the Tiger Lite can be an amazing platform that ends up not costing you a ton in the grand scheme of things. You could throw together an excellent build in this kit using some Gatoron Pro switches and an inexpensive cherry profile cap set for under 200 bucks all in. And with this overall quality in the board proper, you'll only be limited by the other supporting parts here. Now I want to be abundantly clear here, this Tiger Lite is not actually the cheapest keyboard we've ever built here on the channel. But what you're getting for your money invested here is so much better an overall experience from start to finish, it's unreal. Class-leading quality is at the forefront here with one of the most creak-free polycarb cases I've encountered yet, easily realized flex, an excellent selection of tuning materials out of the box, a relatively simple build experience, and premium included accessories. It's also a familiar form factor that most will be able to accommodate in their setup without it getting in the way, is visually unobtrusive if you want it to be, and has a comfy overall design that, with a full build, is now my go-to keyboard. Assuming, of course, my chat doesn't force me to change it during stream. It's with all of this in mind that I once again iterate, the Tiger Lite is the Manic Geeks Custom Mechanical Keyboard of the Year. There's just so little to not like about this board, almost regardless of the parts you put in it, and it's definitely worth putting on your short list for your next keyboard to add to your collection. And again, thank you so much to everyone who's supported the channel over the past couple of months at mechanicalkeyboards.com, checking out with our creator codes. Again, you're the reason we were able to get Tiger Lite in the first place. And if you made it to the end of the video, remember, you're the real goats. Make sure you toss us a thumbs up on the way out if you liked what you saw. Leave some comments below if you have any questions or concerns for us, and we will catch you all next time.